everyone. Welcome back to our channel. We're truly grateful for your presence today. In this video, we delve into a widespread concern, the aftermath of severing ties with a narcissist. Many individuals ponder what goes through the narcissist's mind when you cut off all communication. The narcissist's response hinges on the duration of your acquaintance with them. Have you been in their orbit for years or mere months? The depth and duration of your relationship with this individual prior to going no contact are pivotal in understanding their behavior. When you initiate no contact with narcissists, you cease all communication. You erect a barrier, refusing any form of interaction. Narcissists perceive this as your responsibility to re-establish contact. Initially, they may display resilience, convinced they can bend you to their will. Their mindset is one of superiority, expecting you to capitulate. Why do they harbor such beliefs? Because you possess emotions and empathy, qualities they interpret as weaknesses. To a narcissist, emotional vulnerability equates to weakness. They anticipate that your emotions will override your resolve, compelling you to reach out to them. This is their perspective. It's crucial to maintain steadfast adherence to no interaction with narcissists. No contact means exactly that, irrespective of the circumstances, be it their birthday or an occasion involving mutual acquaintances. No contact signifies your unequivocal decision to sever ties and move on from the relationship. After cutting off communication, the narcissist won't lose sleep over it. They're devoid of empathy and seldom fret over your well-being. Instead, they swiftly move on to their next target or source of attention. Often, they've already been grooming a replacement while in your company. Narcissists typically have contingency plans to evade solitude, as they dread being alone and crave validation and companionship. With you out of the picture, the narcissist redirects their focus to their new target, someone fresh and captivating. They'll pour their energy into this new source of attention, ensuring they always have someone to fill the void. Should the new supply prove unsatisfactory or resistant to manipulation, they may reminisce about you. This is why closure is seldom offered by narcissists. They prefer to keep their options open and avoid burning bridges. Only in extreme circumstances, marked by a significant falling out, will a narcissist sever ties completely. Otherwise, they're likely to resurface, gauging your receptiveness to reconciliation. If they believe there's still something to gain from you, such as sexual intimacy, financial resources, or social status, they'll attempt to hoover you back into the relationship. Their return often coincides with dissatisfaction with their current supply or the perception that you've cooled down. Perhaps you ceased communication due to suspicions of infidelity or gaslighting, leaving them feeling temporarily thwarted. In such instances, they'll bide their time, investing in their new supply, before circling back to reel you back in. A message may appear, innocently asking, "How have you been?" Or, "Long time no talk," or even, "I miss you." The narcissist seeks to reconnect, yet conveniently sidesteps the disagreement that led to the breakup. Dodging accountability for their actions, they choose to brush past it as if it never occurred. You might find yourself disheartened, realizing you were deceived by the narcissist's facade and their promises of a shared future. Left alone after cutting ties, you're left without a backup plan, having believed in the authenticity of your bond with the narcissist. The pain, bewilderment, and betrayal linger, leaving you questioning the abrupt shift from apparent commitment to inconsistency. Once the narcissist senses they've regained your attention, their displays of affection diminish, the love bombing ceases, and they resume their quest for a new source of validation. It's all a game to them, a cycle of ensnaring and discarding, driven by insatiable greed. They fail to appreciate the presence of a genuine companion, always seeking more, perhaps from a supplementary source, while keeping you on standby. As you see through their manipulations and choose to maintain your distance, the narcissist redirects their efforts to other targets. You may or may not be aware of this. Eventually, they may attempt to reel you back in through hoovering tactics. So, do narcissists miss you during no contact? It's crucial to understand their mindset. They may miss what you provided, but not as genuine love. True love doesn't allow for letting go. Through experience, I've come to understand that if a narcissist truly loved you, they would never let you slip away. While they may have a liking for you, narcissists consistently prioritize themselves above all else. Their attention shifts to their new source of validation, sidelining you in the process. Many narcissists assume you'll remain available, believing no one else will offer the same level of care and devotion. They hold on to the notion that you'll be waiting for them, even if you've moved on. This self-centered mindset drives their actions. A narcissist feels a significant blow when they discover you've begun dating someone else. They dislike the idea of others benefiting from what they perceive as their territory. Their focus on maintaining multiple sources of validation distracts them from any lingering thoughts of you. The narcissist often resurfaces during periods of drought, seeking to reclaim your attention through hoovering tactics and love bombing. When a narcissist attempts to rekindle the relationship, it's crucial to question their motives. Would they have risked losing you if they genuinely cared? True love would prompt them to address issues promptly, rather than reappearing months or years later with ulterior motives. If a narcissist goes weeks without contacting you, it's essential to recognize their self-serving nature. They prioritize their own needs above all else. Any return on their part is typically driven by their failure elsewhere, or their desire to exploit what you can offer. They may view you as a pawn in their manipulative game, testing your response to their reappearance. Engaging with a narcissist only exposes your vulnerability to their manipulative tactics. Reflect on the deception, manipulation, and betrayal you've experienced at their hands. Offering them your time and attention only serves to empower narcissistic behavior, perpetuating the cycle of lies and manipulation. They may bank on their attractive appearance to win you over, but looks alone don't determine worth. Both narcissists and non-narcissists can be visually appealing. When narcissists run out of other tactics, they may rely on their looks to sway people. Many fall under their spell, blinded by their allure. They may entertain the idea of reconciliation, believing the narcissist has changed, but reuniting with a narcissist only perpetuates the cycle of abuse. They might put on a facade for a brief period, but the underlying issues will resurface. Eventually, someone will be ghosted. If a narcissist manages to lure you back, they'll likely resume their manipulative behavior and seek validation from others. Allowing them back into your life may lead them to view you as desperate or gullible. Their respect for you may diminish now that they have you back in their clutches. They'll assume you'll always be there, regardless of any conflicts or attempts to break away. This pattern of breaking up and reconciling with narcissists is often viewed as desperate behavior, signaling a willingness to tolerate their mistreatment and lowering your own value. It's crucial to address conflicts with your partner early on. Arguments are inevitable, and everyone needs space at times. Prolonged breaks can be detrimental to relationships, leading both parties to seek companionship elsewhere. Upon reconciliation, questions about interactions during the break only serve to exacerbate the underlying issues. If conflicts cannot be resolved, particularly in committed relationships or marriages with children, it may indicate fundamental compatibility issues. Effective problem-solving is vital in these situations, as the well-being of children is also at stake. Understanding the consequences of your actions is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and family dynamics. Regrettably, many individuals act impulsively without considering the repercussions on others or the dynamics within the family. Opt for a clean break when implementing the no-contact rule. Walk away from the narcissist, acknowledge the toxicity of the relationship, and recognize that the negatives outweighed the positives. Relationships lacking in trust are destined to fail. Living in constant fear of deceit is detrimental to one's well-being. Although going no contact may be challenging and isolating, it is preferable to remaining in a toxic relationship indefinitely. Allowing a narcissist to continually violate your boundaries will ultimately lead to the breakdown of the relationship, with either party eventually departing. Remember, life is short, and squandering it on toxic individuals is a grave mistake. I've learned this through experience. Respect your time and refrain from investing it in liars, gaslighters, or manipulators. There's no need to engage in their games. Let them behave childishly. Mature adults can offer support during life's challenges and engage in meaningful conversations. When dealing with narcissists, employ the grey rock strategy. Make yourself uninteresting and indifferent to them. Block their attempts at communication. If someone they know reaches out to you, maintain silence and treat them as if they do not exist. If you share children with a narcissist, seek legal advice and adhere to custody and financial arrangements. That's what implementing the no-contact rule entails. We trust you found this video informative. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We value your time and eagerly anticipate our next video. Have a wonderful day. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today, we will delve into the intricate world of narcissistic behavior, exploring the aftermath of breakups and abandonment. In this thought-provoking video, we'll dissect the defensive mechanisms and coping strategies employed by narcissists as we unravel the complexities of their experiences during these tumultuous periods. Let's dive in. For a narcissist, a divorce or breakup from a significant relationship marks a substantial shift in their life and inflicts a profound narcissistic injury. Seeking solace and attempting to heal their wounded ego, the narcissist weaves a narrative filled with falsehoods, distortions, partial truths, and imaginative accounts of events. All narcissistic abusers rely on rigid, immature, or even antiquated defense mechanisms. These encompass denial, intellectualization, compartmentalization, projection, projective identification, and of course, narcissism. However, some narcissists take it a step further. Instead of confronting the harsh reality of their shortcomings, they retreat into self-delusion as a form of self-compensation. These narcissists limit themselves to a few options, partially disconnecting from reality. One of these coping mechanisms is masochistic avoidance. In this scenario, the narcissistic abuser punishes themselves for perceived shortcomings by directing some of their rage inward. The added advantage of this masochistic or self-punishing behavior is that it turns those closest to the narcissist into either troubled bystanders or adversaries. In both cases, they are compelled to provide the narcissist with the attention they desperately crave. This self-punishment often manifests as self-handicapping masochism, a strategy to evade accountability by undermining one's own efforts, relationships, and career. Ultimately, a narcissist's post-divorce decisions reflect their deep-seated fears and coping mechanisms. The narcissist is trapped in a painful cycle of self-destruction, ensnaring everyone around them in their chaotic and bewildering web. Intentionally steering clear of additional attention, stress, criticism, and disapproval, all forms of negative reinforcement, the narcissistic abuser's emotional stability continues to waver. They wield their self-inflicted failures as a weapon, a testament to their delusion of control and an assurance that they still dictate their own destiny. In their twisted thinking, they choose to fail. Masochistic abusers like these exhibit a peculiar talent for placing themselves in situations deliberately designed to thwart any chance of success. Milan argued that objectively assessing their performance is highly unlikely. Their behavior follows a pattern marked by caution, withdrawal during peak efforts, persistent fatigue, boredom, or disinterest, ultimately wreaking havoc on their lives through this passive-aggressive strategy. Their clearly defined suffering serves a purpose. It reinforces their perceived omnipotence as they refuse to give in. Public displays of self-pity and discontent act as compensatory measures, shielding the abuser's self-worth from the crushing burden of unworthiness, echoing Milan's insights once again. In their distorted perception, the challenges and suffering endured by narcissistic abusers make them feel special. They see themselves as significant, resilient, moral, virtuous, and saintly. Their pain becomes a source of self-generated narcissistic fuel. Ironically, the more agony and unhappiness they experience after a breakup, the greater the relief and euphoria they feel. In their eyes, initiating the abandonment has liberated them, setting them free. They assert that they never truly desired the commitment, directing blame towards their significant other's alleged despicable behavior, be it a spouse, partner, friend, or boss, contending that the relationship was doomed from the start. In their narrative, they consistently cast themselves as the victim, the misunderstood hero navigating a cruel and unfair world. The delusional narrative stands out as a fascinating and alarming phenomenon within the realm of narcissistic abusers. In this scenario, the narcissist concocts an elevated and often fantastical storyline where they emerge as the undisputed hero. Within this narrative, the narcissist perceives themselves as exceptionally intelligent, flawless, attractive, and destined for monumental success. They view themselves as inherently entitled, robust, affluent, and the focal point of attention. However, as this illusion increasingly diverges from harsh reality, the delusion gains strength, progressively overshadowing the abuser's grasp on reality. Over time, if left unchallenged, this delusion can become so deeply ingrained that the narcissist loses the ability to distinguish between fact and imagination. Consequently, they may begin to withdraw, severing relationships, and may exhibit symptoms of severe psychological conditions such as catatonia, schizoid personality disorder, or schizotypal personality disorder. Post-breakup, narcissistic abusers often display an antisocial response. They share several traits with individuals who engage in illegal activities, notably a lack of empathy and compassion, deficient social skills, and a blatant disregard for morals and societal norms. Gradually, they evolve into fully fledged antisocial individuals exhibiting characteristics associated with psychopathy or sociopathy. In this scenario, the narcissist dismisses the needs and desires of others, engaging in lawlessness, violating both legal and natural rights, and treating people with disdain. They openly defy established laws and mock social conventions and standards, showing contempt for the institutions that govern proper behavior. Viewing themselves as victims coerced into this position by ungrateful and unintelligent individuals in their surroundings, they retaliate by committing crimes that jeopardize others' property, lives, careers, and safety. From the narcissist's distorted perspective, these actions are seen as a form of retribution against those they believe have caused their downfall. This antisocial response to the end of a relationship and being discarded is a chilling manifestation of their skewed worldview. The narcissist's behavior at this stage serves as a stark reminder of the potentially destructive nature inherent in these disturbed individuals. Narcissistic abusers perceive seemingly innocuous daily interactions as personal attacks, developing hypersensitivity to their surroundings. They interpret every glance or sound as offensive, suspecting the spread of malicious rumors, mockery behind their backs, invasion of privacy, and unauthorized access to their emails. The survivor of narcissistic abuse perceives themselves as the central target in a global conspiracy aimed at discrediting and destroying them. They hold the belief that a concerted effort is underway to degrade them, seize their possessions, deceive and deprive them of money, curtail their physical and mental freedom, enforce the will of others upon them, and coerce them into actions or decisions against their wishes. This sense of being under attack leads them to feel pressured, surrounded, besieged, and compelled to compromise their morals and convictions, with fears escalating to the point of potential harm or assassination in extreme cases. In response to these perceived threats, some narcissistic abuse survivors may attempt to completely detach themselves from society, viewing the world as filled with malevolent and threatening individuals seeking to undermine them. It is crucial to understand that these perceived threats are projections and manifestations of the narcissist's inner anxieties and insecurities. Consequently, these individuals may choose to sever most social ties, avoiding new friendships, rejecting romantic relationships, abstaining from sexual encounters, refraining from engaging in conversations, and ceasing communication through any means. This isolation is driven by their distorted worldview, not social awkwardness or shyness. A constant narrative plays in their minds. The world, deemed cruel and sorrowful, is unworthy of their presence or contribution. This decision to isolate is not impulsive, but a direct consequence of their paranoid beliefs, serving as a defense mechanism against the perceived unreal dangers they continuously sense. This extreme reaction following a breakup serves as a disturbing illustration of the narcissistic abuser's capacity to deceive and isolate themselves, offering a stark reminder of the profound psychological damage stemming from a dangerously distorted sense of reality. Within the realm of psychological abusers, a troubling subset, characterized by persecutory delusions, exhibits an aggressive and often explosive behavior. These individuals, commonly identified as narcissists, resort to more violent methods to address their perceived problems as a way of coping with internal turmoil. They undergo a transformation into verbally, psychologically, and situationally abusive individuals, occasionally escalating to physical violence in extreme cases. The primary targets of their unwarranted outbursts are typically those closest to them, loved ones and well-wishers. In their efforts to belittle and mock their targets, narcissistic abusers unleash a barrage of taunts, reprimands, beratings and disparaging remarks. Outbursts of blame, judgment, and self-righteous outrage characterize their behavior. Their view of reality becomes disorganized and warped, interpreting even the most innocuous and unintentional comments as deliberate offenses aimed at degrading their sense of self. Every action and word is perceived by them as intended to be offensive to their identity. Due to their distorted perspective, they perceive the world as inherently against them, triggering malignant anger, disgust, dread, and hatred in response. Their actions resemble a foolish and pitiable spectacle, akin to Don Quixote's futile struggle against windmills in the face of life's harsh realities. Engaging in erratic behavior, they lash out at imaginary foes, often causing significant and lasting harm in the process. Unfortunately, the primary casualties of their actions are usually themselves. In the aftermath of a breakup, their response becomes particularly unpredictable. The loss of a relationship fuels their aggressive tendencies, intensifying their delusions and viewing the separation as a personal failure. This heightened violence stems from the belief that the breakup is a betrayal and an affront to their narcissistic sense of self. Their world transforms into a battleground, where every conversation holds the potential to escalate into a conflict, and every individual is perceived as a potential adversary. Rather than opting for self-isolation as a choice, they do so as a defensive mechanism against a perceived hostile world. Trapped within the confines of their self-constructed cage, they remain ensnared in their distorted reality. Paranoid and aggressive narcissistic abusers stand as a vivid testament to the profound psychological damage stemming from a dangerously skewed perspective of reality. Their violent actions manifest as a frantic and ultimately futile attempt to preserve their fragile sense of self, driven by persecutory fantasies. As we wrap up our exploration into the psychological aftermath of breakups with narcissistic abusers, we've uncovered the territories of paranoid aggression, antisocial behavior, and self-delusion. The self-destructive actions displayed by these individuals are both intriguing and worrisome, offering clear glimpses into the profound consequences of navigating a distorted reality. If you found this analysis compelling, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. Your engagement encourages us to delve further into the intricate dimensions of human behavior. We value your willingness to join us on this captivating, albeit often discomforting, journey through the realm of narcissistic responses to separation, divorce,